Hey everybody, it's Dan with Pain For You. In this video today I want to talk to you about something I'm going to, term the thought filter. And we've talked about thoughts before and how thoughts can oftentimes get us in trouble and everything. And we have a filter. I mentioned this on the reticular activating system, how I talked about thoughts being the input into this whole system. Quick reminder, we have a thought, we add emotion to it, it becomes a belief. Why? Because we take a thought, we say, yep, I believe that, and we have some emotions behind it, becomes a belief, which is really a decision, and then we feed that belief into this reticular activating system, which is this scanning system in our brain that basically says, I believe that, let's look for evidence that that's true. And so this reticular activating system is always scanning for evidence that what we believe is true, and it looks for that confirmation all the time. So the input to that are thoughts. And as you know, thoughts can get us in trouble, or thoughts can lead us out of trouble. And so what I want to introduce you to is just the knowledge and the deep understanding that number one, you don't have to believe your thoughts. You don't have to believe other people's thoughts. So we have the ability to filter out thoughts. And I was kind of joking around about it. And I don't know if you guys are aware of the app on the phone and the tablets called Tinder. It's a dating app. And you know how you can swipe right and swipe left? Swiping right on this dating app says, oh, I like the look of that person, their profile looks good, I'm going to swipe right, which means I like it. And I'm going to swipe left if I don't like it, right? For whatever reason. And so we have the ability to swipe right or left on any thoughts that enter our mind, whether it be from an external source or even our own thoughts. Not all thoughts are true. Not all thoughts serve us. So if the analogy helps you, just as you have a thought, just kind of check yourself and go, is this true or not? If it's true, swipe right. Dump that into the true column or into the true bucket. If it's false, go reject. And it can literally go into the trash. Right? Because again, all thoughts are not true. So, we also have an additional filter which we can apply here. So let's say you dump something into the true bucket. And then we can really apply the filter of, is this thought helpful or is it going to hold me back? And that doesn't mean we are rejecting the emotions tied to it. I mean, if we have a thought that says, oh, I'm never going to get out of pain, this just isn't going to work, we can reject that as false. But even if you believe that, and that's your core, and says, I've been in pain for 6 years and I'm never getting out of it, and you believe that to be true, the second filter is this thought helpful? And look, if you are following my videos, if you are aware of the work of Dr. John Sarno, Dr. Schubner, Dr. Clark, the PPD Association, Nicole Sachs, Steve Ozanich, you know that there is hope to get out of chronic physical pain, because the vast majority of that is created in the mind to distract us from our emotional world. So if you have a belief that says, I'm not going to get better, even if you think it's true right now, I would encourage you not to. Swipe left, dump that in the garbage pile, because you can get better. But even if you have a belief that you believe is true, or have a thought that you believe is true, you can still choose not to dwell on that particular thought, meaning you're not going to repeat it. You're not going to put your reticular activating system, you're not, okay, this feels true right now, but I'm going to choose not to believe it, because I know that the things I believe, my brain will go to work looking for confirmation of it. So this thought filter idea is very useful to just really say, not everything I think is true. And it kind of frees us up a little bit, because it's so often we just accept that any thought we have is reality. No, it's not true. Not all thoughts are real. Not all thoughts are true. You know, I'm sitting here by this fence. Just had a thought. Boy, that fence needs a paint job. I should paint it. And I say, nope, not useful, not true. Paint doesn't need to be done here on a fence that's, you know, sitting out in the outdoors. Bad example, but not all thoughts are true, and certainly not all thoughts are useful or helpful. Many of them just hold us down, and that's not going to get us anywhere. So, what do you guys think of this Tinder thought filter? Does that give you kind of a helpful or useful or even a funny analogy of to just, you know, being able to say, yeah, I just had this thought that today's going to suck. Number one, it's not true, and number two, it's certainly not useful. So we can literally reject, dump it into the trash and say, now that I've filtered that out, what thought can I put into my mind? Today's going to be a better day. What if today's going to be better than yesterday? What if today's going to be a great day? What if today I choose to have some fun despite my symptoms? What if today I choose to be a little bit better at being indifferent to these symptoms and taking much more of a whatever attitude, right? By filtering out the non-useful and untrue thoughts, that makes room for us to choose better thoughts, and choice it is. I see so many comments from people saying, oh, my brain runs away from me, my brain does this, my brain does that, and that's completely giving up your power to this gray matter in your head. And I will not disagree with you that some of these programs and beliefs are long-standing, and it's going to take a little bit of push to get through the inertia of change. But it's your brain. It's your brain. You have the ability to choose your thoughts. And if you give up that choice and just say, well, my brain does this, I can't stop it, I can't control my brain, you're completely giving up your power to make changes in your life, not just with TMS or chronic symptoms or chronic pain, but you're giving up control over making any positive changes, because if you say, well, my habits of thought, my subconscious programs are all I've got and I can't do a damn thing about it, how much do you think you're going to be able to make changes that help you move forward into the direction of a life you want? So it's really, really important for you to recognize that we have the ability to filter out thoughts that are untrue and certainly not helpful. We have the ability to choose which thoughts we want to put into our brain, that we want to feed into the front end of this reticular activating system. And we can make decisions about which thoughts we believe, right? Now, what wraps around this whole thing, right? Thoughts, but awareness. If you're not even aware of the thoughts that are coming into your brain and you're just acting on them, or you're just letting these runaway negative thoughts that you're in the habit of living with, if you're not aware of it, how much are you going to be able to use this filter? Swipe right, swipe left. You're not. It's going to be really, really tough. So awareness is something you're going to hear me continue to teach here and share and emphasize as critical, because if you're going through walks, sleepwalking, with the lights out, in the dark, unaware of where your thoughts are leading you or taking you, this whole thing gets really challenging. And awareness is really just paying attention and not letting these quote-unquote runaway thoughts, or not letting your brain do this to you or do that to you. We literally have the ability to be aware and listen and stay present. Don't get lost in this future catastrophization that we often get into. Don't get lost in the horrors and traumas of our past. Stay present. Be aware. Where are my thoughts? When I wake up in the morning, do my thoughts immediately go to how horrible of a day it's going to be? Or they go to thoughts of saying, well, what if today's a great day? What if today I just take the whatever attitude, try to have some fun, try to get done the things I need to get done, try to suck it up and not be overly protective of my body because I don't want to hurt myself. right? TMS is not dangerous. We're not injuring ourselves. Yes, it's massively uncomfortable, but we're not going to hurt ourselves by moving with a little bit of pain. So if you want, you can actually choose to step out of this suffering. You can choose to have a better day. It's a decision. And I know it's really tough. It's really challenging. And I know a lot of what I talk about here, you may be thinking, well, it's easy for you to say, Dan, you don't have pain anymore. But I get it. I was there for 13 years. So I'm not telling you to do anything that I hadn't had to figure out and do myself. So, thought filter. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on it. If you don't know what Tinder is, just go to Google and say, what is Tinder? Or what is the Tinder app? It's a very interesting dating application on the phone, and I thought the swipe right, swipe left would be an interesting or fun analogy for, the filters that you can apply to any thoughts, whether it be coming in from the television, from your family, from your doctor. Your doctor could tell you, you've got a bulging and herniated disc, and that's the reason for your pain. And you can say, swipe left. I know about TMS. That's not true, and it's certainly not useful, right? We have the ability to choose what thoughts we let in, what we dump into the truth column, and what we actually decide, it's a decision, what we decide to believe. So by changing the input, which is the thoughts that you allow in, you can absolutely change what your brain looks to scan and find confirmation of. So use the thought filter. Challenge your thoughts and say, is that useful? Is it true even? And you'll find that by eliminating the crap thoughts that are just the limiting negative beliefs that you've been just in the habit and gotten comfortable with, you can absolutely make room for choosing the right thoughts, the supportive thoughts, the I can do this thoughts, the emotions are okay, they're not dangerous. I can feel them without melting down. I can do all sorts of things. So what do you guys think? Do you utilize a thought filter? You probably do, you just aren't consciously aware of it. What I'm encouraging you to do is become very consciously aware of the thoughts that are in your head and how you are responding to those thoughts. Are you automatically accepting every single thought that you have as truth and then acting accordingly? That's how we get stuck in suffering. That's how we get stuck in catastrophizing. That's how we get stuck replaying the movies of our past emotional experiences and bad things that have happened to us. Awareness, staying present, choosing which thoughts you accept as true and helpful, and discarding the rest. Not only is it helpful, but it's very possible to actually do that. And the key trigger here is awareness. Without that, this whole game changes, gets a lot more tough. So, what do you guys think? Please comment below if you found this helpful. And we'll talk to you soon. See you later. Bye.